And we are back for another casual conversation with the Classic with another very special guest to promote the Saturday night's main event coming here to Vancouver, the first WWE live event since September 2020. The crazy thing is I got a very special guest, none other than the role model, Bayley. How are you today?
I am doing awesome. Great.
I'm glad
Beautiful.
you were doing awesome. You know, the last event that was here was the SmackDown. It was February 14th, 2020, and you wrestled Carmella and you defended your title against her, and it was a really good match. So it's cool that you're coming back.
You talk
Yeah.
about that match all the time.
I
crowd was
enjoyed
super
it. It was a
into
great match.
That was super fun. Yeah, that was one of like my first matches as a champion, and the whole like character change that I felt like, ooh, okay, I could find my groove in this. The crowd was great.
No, 100%. We honestly thank you because I want the people to know that the crowd is great because I want you guys to come to Vancouver more often.
Yeah.
We were totally into it. It was a blast. Yeah. Like how do you like working with Carmella? Because you guys had great chemistry that time. That was a great match.
Yeah, I love working with her. I mean, we're great friends outside the ring, so I think that like definitely helps, and we have a lot of the same visions and same goals and everything. Watching her grow up as a performer in the ring, you know, she didn't wrestle before she got to the WWE, so being able to watch her like grow into the character and performer that she is now, incredible. And I just love being in the ring with her because she's not scared to get hit.
No, that's awesome. First things first, I should have started off with this. Welcome back. You were out for about like 9 months to a year with a torn ACL. We're glad to have you back, but you did not come back alone. So let's get into it. Damage control. How did the group come about? How long was this planned for? Like, what's the story behind Damage Control? The name, everything.
Well, I can't tell you everything because, you know,
why not?
Bianca and Asuka and Alexa might watch this or something. But,
yeah.
You know, I knew coming back after a long injury that I couldn't come back the same. I knew I couldn't come back and just have the same mindset. And being on the outside, I was able to see all the things that were missing in the division and all the laziness that came along with it. And I feel like we needed some damage control in the division, but I knew that I couldn't do it by myself because it was bigger than I was. So I went out and found the absolute best. If you are any fan of NXT, you know who Dakota Kai and Io Sky are, and they've been super successful. I mean, we've only been here for, let's say, 6 weeks or so, and they're already the women's tag team champions. So they have the same vision as I do, and we're super focused on just making the division bigger and better than anybody can even understand that it can be, you know?
So were Dakota Kai and Io Sky like kind of handpicked from you? Because we've heard this story that really Dakota only had like a 24-hour notice that she was going to be at SummerSlam.
Right.
Did you have a heads up on that? Were you like a part of the planning process of having Dakota and Io with you?
I mean, this is something that I've wanted for a long time, you know? But WWE is nuts. Like, one of the first things I ever learned there was literally one of the first things I learned was always have a bag packed and ready to go, because you don't know when you're going to get that call and you have to hop on a flight in 6 hours. That is literally what happened.
Yeah.
But it's all because, you know, you just got to wait for the right time, the right place. And it was always in motion. It was just a matter of when.
Fair enough. Is it true? Because I did obviously some research before coming on here, and I'm curious if it was actually 100% true. Did you actually rap the Damage Control theme song?
Yeah.
Actually, that was you.
I said that on the bump. So
you did. I watched the bump yesterday, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, is that actually her?
And I'm not going to do a live performance, so don't ask.
I wasn't going to ask. I knew that was probably going to be the case. But do you have like experience with rapping? Is that like, was it that easy for you? Or how did that happen?
I do now, you know.
Oh, that is interesting.
I've met Snoop Dogg before, you know.
Okay, fair enough. He gave you some tips? Did he give you any advice?
I can't share that, guys, and someone's gonna try to, like, you know, overlap me.
This is the best interview. I'm getting all the exclusive details of people. Let's talk about Clash of the Castle. You're back. You've been gone for 9 months, and being back, you've missed a WrestleMania and whatnot, but you got to be in front of 62,000 fans in Cardiff in the UK. How was that experience? You got to do with Damage Control, this new group that you guys are taking over the division. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was so cool. Like, that was my WrestleMania, you know, and even the WrestleMania before last, I didn't get to wrestle.
Yeah.
So, like, it felt like 2 pent up WrestleManias that I got to do. And just being out there in front of a different crowd, you know, a UK crowd who's already super energetic. I was already excited to perform on a big show like that, but in front of 60,000 people and 60,000 singing people, it was so rewarding and just felt like it was worth the wait. And to watch Io and Dakota have their first experience like that in front of a crowd, it was just like very magical.
No, I bet. During your rehab, you obviously got to spend quite a bit of time at the Performance Center down in Orlando. So I'm curious, you got to spend time with a lot of the women that are coming in there now that have been on NXT for the past year or so. Is there anybody else in that division that really stands out to you? Like, is there anyone you think that us fans should be looking forward to if they haven't been tuning into NXT or if they haven't even made their debut on NXT yet?
Indy Hartwell is going to be really mad because if I give a big list of people,
Yeah.
I just say everyone's good, which I don't. I'm just I see these things. But first, I will say Indy. She's the one who like helped me get back into ring shape. She spent countless hours with me after her training. Like she did training, then she did promo class, then she did weight training, and she would still come and train with me afterwards. So she knows I can't thank her enough for spending that time with me. We were able to learn from each other and bond as friends as well. And I think she has endless potential. You know, she has such a great on-screen character. Fans love her. She's super athletic and she just has so much potential. But I'm a huge fan of JC Jane from Toxic Attraction. I think there's just something about her, you know, I don't know how to explain it. Something about her that's very intriguing. She's really good, cares about it. Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. Those were like my group of girls that are just reminded me of myself in NXT and how bad they want it and how badly they want to be successful and do their best for women's wrestling.
Is it fun for you to go back down there now and you're like this wily veteran that is with these young girls and you're able to give them this advice in that same place that you used broke in at, you know?
Yeah, it's fun because there's still, you know, my coaches are still there. It's a little strange when some of the girls tell me stories.
Have you got I watched you since I was little yet?
Yes. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm still here, okay?
Yeah.
Championships. No, it's really cool because like that was our goal in NXT. You know, that's our goal now is to inspire the next generation and to literally see it with my own eyes, to talk to this next generation in person. And Indy Hartwell, for example, started training because of my match with Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So
that's my favorite women's match till this day.
There,
yeah,
it's nuts, and I'm just so happy that what we set out to do is just like unfolding in front of my eyes.
That must be insane that it was because of a match of yours at NXT Brooklyn, which was, like I mentioned, is one of my favorite women's matches. It is my favorite women's match of all time.
Thank you.
That, you know, that inspired Indy to train. So let me ask you this, because since you were such a core part of that main NXT, the black and gold era, the rise of NXT in those days, what were your thoughts on NXT 2.0?
I loved it. You know, it took me a while to warm up to it, and I think it was just being down there and being able to see them train and work hard and go to the shows in person. I don't think it matters if it's NXT 2.0 or whether it's the black and gold, you know, I don't think that matters because the roster doesn't change. The people putting in the work doesn't change. You know, it's still the same great product, the same great superstars. And I'm excited to see if this changes anything, but I don't think it does. You know, the matches have been incredible.
I have to agree. I'm going to ask you a question here, and I'm going to phrase it differently because I know if I ask you it straight up, you're going to be like, no, the three of us are great. We have great chemistry. We're going to take over. So I'm going to put it this way. If Damage CTRL had to go into a War Games and had to find a fourth person to team with them, who would that be? Because I was going to ask you who else would you want to add to Damage CTRL if you had the opportunity to, but then I feel like you're going to be like, no, we're good. But if it was a War Game situation and you needed a fourth partner.
Fourth partner. I guess I'm going to have to go with Indy because we spent a lot of time together and she knows how my big old brain up here is working and where I'm at right now in my career. so she can and she's a ride or die, you know.
She's like
She's here because
she's
of
like
a match I had, so I know
Yeah.
she's gonna go into war with me.
That's a good answer. Like she's like the Sami Zayn of damage control, isn't she now? The honorary use. Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far, but you know.
Fair enough. This is a question I think a lot of people want to know, and I don't know if you've probably gotten into it before, but obviously you were one of like the top, like children loved you, fan favorite for many years. When you decided that you were going to join the dark side with Sasha at that time in 2019, did you have any concerns, or were you ready for it? Like, was it boiling up in you that you're ready to do this, or was it something you're like, I'm still not too sure?
If you like look in my entire career, everything I'm doing is genuine to that time of my life and how I felt at that moment in my life and my career. And 2019 at that time was just time to do it. You know, I've kissed all the babies, I've given all the hugs, I've given all the high fives, I did everything I could for these fans. But it was the right time for me to, as a businesswoman, to look what's going to get me to that next level. And I couldn't be held down anymore, and I needed to do what was best for me.
It's pretty cool because some of those little girls that liked you at the beginning probably grew up and they moved with you. They're probably, you know what I mean?
Right, they're wrestling now. Exactly what I'm talking about.
A couple of last quick questions, and then I will let you go. First one first. What is the beef with Michael Cole?
You ask him, all right? You know, if you guys even could understand a little bit what it's like to wrestle inside of an empty arena, put our bodies on the line in front of 0 people, and all you hear is Michael Cole's annoying, stupid voice saying, "It's boss time," over and over again. It's going to start lighting a fire inside of you.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to understand. He thinks I'm the annoying one. I've had to listen to his stupid voice for 20 years since I've been a fan, and now like in my ear in person.
Number 2, I asked this question to Dolph, so I want to ask you the same question because he actually came up with a really cool answer, and it's a very cliche question, but since you have technically missed 2 WrestleManias, you missed this year's because of injury, and then you hosted last year, so you were the host of the event. What is your, like, at this very particular moment, like, what is your dream WrestleMania match you could book yourself?
My dream WrestleMania
for the upcoming WrestleMania.
What?
For the upcoming WrestleMania, what would be your dream WrestleMania match right now? He got stumped for a second too, and then he tried asking me, and then I got stumped. So
I have too much, but at this moment,
at this very particular moment,
Damage Control
against who?
Lita, Trish, Beth Phoenix.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah. Get him out of here. This is our place. Don't come back.
And then very last question. One thing that I've always had in common with you is the fact that I think we are both very big Macho Man Randy Savage fans. I think we have that in common. Ooh, yeah, 100%. So I've always wanted to ask, like, what is it for you? Like, what made you a Macho Man Randy Savage fan?
He was the first person that drew me into wrestling. And it was the way he looked, the way he carried himself, and his charisma. Like, I literally just saw him walk down the aisle in one of his outfits, and I was like,
yeah,
ooh, what's that? Nothing in wrestling until that point caught my eye like Macho Man did.
No, 100%. Larger than life. You're just so colorful. His voice is weird. Like, everything about him stood out. So obviously being Canadian, like, Brett's like my favorite. But then I was like, this Macho Man guy.
Yeah, it's hard not to love him.
Yeah, he stood out, and I always want to one day talk to you about the Macho Man, but maybe sometime down the line. I appreciate your time. Looking forward to you guys coming to Vancouver, September 24th, the Pacific Coliseum, Saturday night's main event, guys. Finally, WWE is coming back to Vancouver, and I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. It's getting redundant, but there's nothing like a live WWE show. I mean, just you go to the show, even if you're not like the biggest wrestling fan anymore, you're used to watch back then, you don't watch anymore. Trust me, go to a show. It's a blast. You'll have a great time, and especially that this is a live event. The talent will interact with you if you start yelling at them. Trust me, I've done it. So make sure you. Yeah, sometimes people will be like, it's not a Raw SmackDown. I'm like, no, go to the live event. Like, if you start yelling at them, they will yell at you back. They have the freedom to. So, is there any memories you have of Vancouver? Quickly wrap it up, or?
Vancouver was the first place outside of the States that I wrestled on when I was on the independents. I wrestled for ECCW.
Oh wow, yeah.
So like that was like my first big road trip. Drove out there and stayed with one of the girls that wrestled there for a bit, and I think we did 1 or 2 shows.
Do you remember who you wrestled? Was it Nicole Matthews or was it someone else?
Yeah, it was Casey Spinelli.
Casey
But I
Spinelli.
love
Okay,
Nicole
sweet.
Matthews. She was on the show as well too. I've
Yeah,
wrestled Matthews at Shimmer a bunch of times, and
that's
she's
awesome.
still one of like my favorite people to like keep in touch with. So shout out to Nicole Matthews, Casey Spinelli.
Shout out to Nicole Matthews and Casey Spinelli. And shout out to ECCW. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Hopefully, I will talk to you down the road sometime soon. And I don't know how to wrap this up, so I'm gonna say keep doing the thing. Ooh, yeah, dig it. There you go. Thank you.
Time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.